What is up, guys? Welcome to an edition of the Straight Edge Wrestling Podcast, Royal Rumble prediction episode. The Royal Rumble's tomorrow night. We've got Worlds Collide tonight. We're just going to run down the card, basically, and say who we got for what. There's not much to come out of this, because, I mean, the Rumbles...
No one really knows who's in any of the Royal Rumbles. So.
Yeah, the Rumbles are really open this year, because they haven't really been building many people. They're building some people, but not many, so it's pretty open. But we'll do all the Rumbles at the end. Let's start off with a match which is I'm assuming is going to be on the pre-show. Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo for the US title. Who you got?
Andrade.
Yeah, same. I said this to you a little while ago. I find it so bizarre that they've been building up Ray and Andrade for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then suddenly they just sort of shift to Humberto after 1 week.
That's it. I can see Rey Mysterio coming down to try and save, and then costing him the match.
Yeah, some kind. Yeah, I can see.
Andrade's probably going to try and slam him on his head again outside the ring or something like that.
Probably. Yeah, no, I've got Andrade as well. We then also have another match which I'm going to assume is going to be on the pre-show. Shorty G versus Sheamus.
Yeah, I really want Shorty G to win, but he won't.
Yeah, I like Gable, but it's
Shorty G.
I hate that name so much. I hate
Shorty
that.
G. Get it right. I don't want to say no.
Gable is so damn talented. It's just I hate the gimmick so much. But yeah,
He's accepted that he's small, all right?
so dumb. It's so dumb. Yeah, I mean it's Sheamus's return match, so it's got to be Sheamus, unfortunately.
Until he does his hip in, yeah.
Until he's gone again. We also then have Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Now, this is a weird one because I really like Lacey. I've been high on Lacey Evans since she came in. People have sort of shit on her mic work.
I like it now because I think they don't even find listen to me when I said the character she's playing, she needs to be face. Can't be doing heel with her.
Yeah, I've been pushing ever since I saw that video of her talking about her military background, her dad suffering with depression and addiction and stuff. Ever since that video.
Friday, yeah?
No. Like over a year or so ago, the PC video. I tweeted that out then, basically when she first debuted, being like, why on earth are they doing this sassy Southern belle crap when she's a legit military vet and has got an amazing, sad but amazing backstory. And I'm so happy they're sort of like finally pulling the trigger on it and doing it because, God, I really like her. But it's going to be Bayley.
Well, yeah, I think it's because I see Sasha coming back for this match.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to screw her out of it. I can see Lacey picking up the title down the line, though. I think they've got a lot of stock in her. I think they like her. So yeah, I think she's going to pick it up down the line. Probably just not at the Rumble.
Yeah, but it could be WrestleMania where they finally kill.
It could be.
Push it, but the only problem is though, by that because I'm already getting because it's lagging a bit now with where the story of them are. It's getting a bit stale. You need something new in it. You go by WrestleMania, I just will be wishing it was over and done with, and I didn't see any one of those three on TV.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they could. They could take the title off of Bayley between now and then, and have Lacey challenge someone else for it. So it may not even be that, but I think.
I think Bayley's got that title to WrestleMania.
I think so as well. Yeah, I think she is. But I think Bayley's going to win.
Sasha Banks gets jealous and wants it.
I think that's the Mania match, right? I think that's probably going to be the Mania match. Bayley versus Sasha.
I've already seen that multiple times.
But I think that's probably the Mania match.
I want to see something new.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bayley. Yeah, I think Bayley wins this solely because what you said. I think Sasha's going to come back just because. I don't think they're going to do a clean win on Lacey, seeing as they're now doing the babyface Lacey. I think they're finally. I think
Manny might win the women's title at WrestleMania with Otis in the corner.
Oh God, yeah,
Otis
Jesus Christ.
Otis doing the belly flop.
that's fantastic. I tweeted out when I was laughing so much when Otis caught her off the top rope. I was laughing so much. Just his face, it's so twisted.
It's the bit for me where he comes down with the cake and stuff.
And he's like, oh, it's so ridiculous. No, I love it. Yeah, I love Otis. Anyway, moving on. We have Becky versus Asuka. Basically a redo of last Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I see Becky winning this one.
Yeah, same.
because
it made no sense that Becky lost
maybe,
the last one.
Because what I dream for is Ronda Rousey returning at the Royal Rumble and finally getting that single match I wanted for WrestleMania, and I reckon that would just make my Royal Rumble 10 times better.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the Rumble, but I think this is like, I don't know, it's weird. Becky gave an interview. I went backstage. She said the other day about how she felt sorry for Asuka, but at the Royal Rumble and stuff last year, because she had her Asuka sort of had her momentum killed, and then they had her beat Becky for no reason. People sort of turned on Asuka a little bit, So it's just she felt bad for Asuka. So this is sort of like her being able to do a redo for all that. That's what she said on backstage. But I think basically
it's because she's the blip on her record. So the tour story she's telling me on TV is a complete and utter lie.
I mean, yeah. In fact, it's weird that, isn't it? That the story's not true. The kayfabe.
How dare wrestling people lie to me like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Vince McMahon lying.
Bring back WCW where it was all reality.
All based in truth. When Kevin Nash when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall beat Goldberg and they hit him with that taser, that was all true.
Well, yeah, technically they were using real.
Real cattle prods, yeah.
Bring back when Kevin Nash ended up using Rey Mysterio as a dart.
As a dart. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got Becky.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. We then.
I don't really want to see Asuka win this championship going up towards WrestleMania.
No, neither do I. I think they need to.
Especially with the lack of English she can be bothered to use at the moment.
Yeah, they're telling a different story with her now. I quite like Asuka's new thing.
I'm liking it. I just don't want to see it in the main role with the Women's Championship.
No, neither do I. Yeah, no, neither do I. I think it's got to stay on Becky through Mania. Have her do the full year basically. We then have Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Who cares?
Yeah, I've been saying this about the freaking Roman Corbin angle for about the past month.
Well, for some reason, his problem is with Corbin. They came to stick him in 4 or 5 month long storylines. They did it with Seth at the beginning of towards the end of middle of last year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
After Mania.
It did half the year, so
yeah, it was like just after Mania. It literally started just after.
I'm pretty
Mania.
sure Seth after WrestleMania only really had 2 storylines. It was Baron Corbin and then
Bray Wyatt and Fiend. Yeah, that was it. That's basically all he done.
Yeah.
I know, but
I wonder why he's boring.
Hey, not now.
No, but he was
then. Then.
No wonder why I kept telling me he had to be a heel.
Yeah, but Baron Corbin.
Once again, they stole my idea.
Baron Corbin. This whole thing with the dog food, all that, and they sort of shifted away from that. Everything it's just, I don't know. It just got a bit tedious. I liked it when it started. I liked them doing the dog food thing at first, and then they kept on repeating everything.
Well, they tried to get rid of the dog food, and that's when the Usos returned.
Yeah. So it's like, but then it's just like they've been driving it into the ground. It's weird to me that the Usos. I thought the match for the Rumble was going to be the Usos and Roman versus Corbin, Ziggler, and Rude. I thought that was going to be the match, but then they done that on SmackDown instead.
Well, yeah, but a little while ago, Roman announced that those two would be having that match anyway.
Yeah, I know, but it's like I just when the Usos returned, I thought it would sort of change and they'd be doing that. But
they can't take Roman's.
No. But yeah, I've got Roman.
Yeah, I've got Roman too.
Yeah, I mean, they've been building this story, building, quote unquote, building this story for 3 months.
Baron Corbin does not need wins to be successful in that company.
Yeah, he just needs to speak, and everyone immediately wants to fucking hate him. So it's fine.
The thing is, I don't actually mind him.
No, I don't mind.
It's very entertaining.
I don't mind Baron. It's just,
and he's teamed himself with a very successful man in Robert Roode.
I just think they overdo it with Baron all the time.
I don't know, it's your house.
Weird.
We're all dead. Oh, the thumbnails are in my face.
Yes, so. And then we have The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan in a strap match for the WWE Universal Championship.
Ugh.
Who you got?
Who cares?
It
was a great storyline before with the Daniel Bryan thing.
Yeah.
This thing now is just cack.
Yeah, it didn't need to continue. The whole point of the Fiend, really, like the way in which they get the Fiend over, is him just going from person to person, dismantling them and moving on. It just doesn't make much sense.
Then how they do the thing where he sort of destroyed Daniel on the ground and then come back, and then Dan was like, oh my god, you've been the same person, Daniel, no one cares.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense that we've seen him beat Bryan, but now he's got a haircut
and
a shave. Apparently something's changed, I don't know. Also, a strap match does not bode well for the type of matches that the Fiend has. That's such a bizarre thing, just because...
They'll probably just choke him out.
Yeah, I mean, and also we're going to have that fucking red light with a strap. We're not going to be able to see anything.
Should be a blue light.
The light is not in correspondence with the... in correlation either
I don't
with
care about that. My favourite colour's blue.
She just wanted it to be blue. Okay, fair enough.
And red.
I think red's, symbolic. I'm sure it'll be an okay match. It's not going to be anything special, just because you're never going to get a 10 out of 10.
He can't even turn up now after stabbing himself, a pen in his hand on the...
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a fine match, just because whatever, it'll be fine. But I can't stand that light. That's going to be my big thing. I just can't stand that light. But no, I've got the Fiend. You've got the Fiend. It doesn't make any sense to be Bryan. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they were to put it on Bryan again, or do something dodgy, but I hope they don't, because
Daniel Bryan wins it and does the Bryan family and joins them all in.
So, yeah.
Goes hillbilly, they all go green.
They've, talking about Daniel Bryan, little side note, he done a thing on, he was speaking to some magazine or something this week, where they talked about when he got his hair cut, when he went under the ring, and they said they actually had a barber under the ring to cut his hair. When he went under there, they actually had a barber under there for when he pulled hair out, so it was actually Daniel Bryan's hair. I hope to God that isn't true. I hope to God that he was kayfabing the journalist, and that really didn't work. Like he said, when he went under the ring, there was a producer and someone there to cut his hair, a barber to cut his hair while they're under the ring, and then the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, will pull out the actual hair. I hope that's not true, because they could have just used prop hair. So I hope to God that he's...
They could have just let the Fiend actually rip it out.
Oh, or not. But yeah, that they actually said that this week, so I hope to God that's not true. Anyway, we then have the Women's Royal Rumble, of which there are 7 women currently declared. That's it. So we've got 23 women not declared for this match yet. So really, we don't know.
It's anyone's game, really, ain't it?
Yeah, we don't really know anything about this. We know Charlotte's in it, and that's about it. We know Alexa Bliss is in it. Who else we know? We know Sarah Logan's in it.
Yeah.
There's 7 women. So who knows? Basically, I've got Charlotte winning this.
I would love to have Ronda do be a surprise return back just to set up for WrestleMania.
I think the biggest thing they could do would be a Ronda return. I think, without a doubt.
Just do the 3-month thing. She hasn't got pregnant yet, to our knowledge. So
yeah, I don't see it happening. But I think absolutely that'd be the best thing they could do.
She's too busy batting tables at the moment. So
that's great. Very Devon. But
what I'd also like to see in the Royal Rumble is which is really irritating me with Raw and with the Charlotte part, is where they've could have set up a great feud between her and Sarah Logan. And then somehow they let Charlotte pretty much... It starts off quite strong and then just gets squashed.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Sarah Logan not eliminate Charlotte this Royal Rumble.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And actually set up a feud.
Yeah. I think the Rumble has always been... Well, used to be, not so much now, but it always used to be that platform to give the new person the chance to shine. You can build someone...
Like Maven eliminating The Undertaker and then getting the crap kicked out of him afterwards.
Yeah. But you can give someone that chance to shine in the Rumble. If you let them build all the way through. I mean, the reason which people really got behind Rey Mysterio before he won that World Championship was because of that hour he spent in the Rumble, and people really, people really wanted to root for Rey because he was in the Rumble for an hour. So it's like, if they do that right and they choose someone like Sarah Logan or whoever to topple Charlotte, they can make a star in one night if they want to.
Let's be honest, they've already killed Liv Morgan off already.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a real shame. Liv would be a contender. Could have. They easily could have debuted.
Their original plan, the reason why they took her out of it and to rebrand her was to bring her back, make her strong, and put her as make her a women's champion.
Yeah.
And then they killed that by doing this stuff with Lana.
Yeah, I mean, they could have had Liv sit out and make her return in the Rumble, and she could have come back and dominated the Rumble, or whatever. Like, but whatever. Who knows? Lana's probably going to win the fucking thing.
You know, the better sisters might come back for the Royal Rumble.
That's true. One of them could. I mean,
you probably find both will come back. It's a quick paycheck for.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of many surprises. Trish isn't coming. So Trish is obviously she's said that she's done. She's retired and done.
What a selfish bitch she is.
I know, how rude. It's not like the men when they retire and they're like, unless the payday's right. Yeah, Lita maybe. Medusa, they like bring her back. Yeah, Beth Phoenix, or she's around anyway, and her husband maybe in the men's. We have, yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, because we've got NXT in this Rumble as well, lots of the numbers can be taken up anyway just by the
actually
roster.
Quite interesting is if they put Rhea Ripley in it, and I finally get that rivalry that I've always wanted
Rhea
between
Ripley and Charlotte. Yeah, they get to square off. That'd be cool. I mean, it is wide open. Maybe they have an NXT person win it. You know, who knows? They could have a main roster or whatever Raw SmackDown person win the men's and an NXT person.
Women's Royal Rumble could be cool because they can't call it Women's Royal Rumble now, can they?
Oh god, yeah. So yeah, well,
is it going to be called the second Royal Rumble? And then they're going to get upset because of
the non-men's Royal Rumble. Well, I mean, this is in relation. He's talking about that because there's been an internal memo within WWE, which has sort of been confirmed by many people, that they're no longer going to be calling the NXT Women's Championship the NXT Women's Championship. They're just going to be calling it the NXT Championship.
Do you think they're going to now start calling the men's NXT Championship the men's NXT Championship?
Yeah, that'd be like the easier thing to do, wouldn't it? Just to put the men's thing in there. So they want to drop the gender titles from it all and just call it. And it's just going to cause so much confusion when they say the NXT Championship's going to be defended next week. Or Adam Cole's won, or, you know.
Well, it's also going to get fun when they eventually, if they do bring it into SmackDown and Raw, the Raw SmackDown Championship.
There is no way that works.
Now I'm thinking it's men and women fighting for it.
Yeah, there's no way that works. The Raw Championship, the WWE Raw Championship, like, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense how it would even work. But anyway, yeah, I've got Charlotte just because. I mean, you pointed this out. She's been the only one with any kind of build really leading into the Rumble, and she hasn't won a Rumble, which is quite surprising that she didn't win one of the other two.
She doesn't deserve to win a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but they love giving her accolades. They love racking up those accolades on her. Yeah, exactly. But they want to give her every accolade possible. So they want to. That's why
she wants to quit.
That's why they put her in the WrestleMania main event last year. You know, they wanted her to be part of that main event.
They ruined it.
Like they want to rack those accolades up. So I could see it. Ronda would be the best outcome from it. Charlotte's most likely, I think.
I think Sarah Hogan deserves it as well.
I think a newbie would be great if they put an established star over in the men's. I think putting a newbie over in the women's would be great.
Well, they need to start building up some of these other wrestlers and things, because you've only got like 3 or 4 proper at the moment.
Yeah, their women's division is very, very weak.
So they're weak. They just don't push the other ones.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very weak because there's no one there really.
Well, so let's be honest, you have an opportunity to build Sarah Logan up so well in the past few weeks with Charlotte, and not only. And my main issue with Charlotte at the moment is even through last year from WrestleMania, she doesn't like selling stuff anymore. That's why.
But that's not her. That's not her. That's producers. That's WWE. That's the production.
Yeah, but this is also going back before like last year's WrestleMania part. That's her.
Well, it can't be because they would tell her like there's no way that she'd be. There's their producers telling her how to sell, what not to sell, what to do.
Well, she's doing it. It's her character, so it's her fault.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it's the same thing as the Fiend taking 18 stomps and standing back up. You know, because that's what producers want. They want them to seem strong. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's supposed to have that slight mystical thing about it.
No, but or Ronda, Ronda taking moves and just being like, oh.
Yeah, but Ronda can also actually at times act like she's also hurt as well.
Yeah,
so like Brock Lesnar can act quite well if she gets Charlotte, not so much.
No, I agree, but it's not. That's just what for some reason that's how they're wanting to portray her as like this weird, freaking Iron Woman, Superwoman sort of thing. I don't know.
I don't see it.
I think she's.
Like Molly Holly.
That's a weird one to.
Well, she was a.
I know. That's a weird one to. We then have what I'm assuming is going to be the main event, which is going to be the men's Royal Rumble. I think there's quite a good tell if you were right and Ronda was to return. If the women's main Rumble goes on last, we're quite likely to get a Ronda return or something like that. But I think that's probably not going to happen.
The men's go on last is Edge.
It's Edge.
Or
yeah.
Christian. Christian would be amazing. I'd lose my shit.
Yeah. Except for Vince McMahon, be like, how the hell did he get out there? Who's playing that damn music?
Somehow he comes in at number 30 or 31 right after Edge and eliminates him and wins all around.
Yeah. So we've got the men's Royal Rumble. There's been lots of speculation.
Shit.
There's lots of speculation going on about the men's Royal Rumble, about surprise entries and things, about Booker T and Harlem Heat entering, Edge entering, people hoping and praying for a CM Punk entry, which ain't happening. I don't think.
The thing is that I also love is the amount of talent they got right now. Do they really need these surprise returns much anymore?
No.
If Hogan's fucking music hits, I quit.
As I said, I said to you a little while ago, I was like, I think Hogan could be a viable thing because lots of
I'll be done with WWE for life.
Lots of legends that normally make returns are either out injured at the moment or have got AEW connections like DDP and things now. Hogan would be viable, and then I suddenly realised, there's no way that man can go over a top rope without breaking every bone in his body.
He reckons he's got a good run left in him, so you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even though there's no way on earth he can, well, he's even admitted he can't even drop a leg drop anymore. Like he would just fucking die if everything would break if he tried to drop a leg drop.
How does he reckon he could do another run then if he can't do his finisher?
It has to be a multi-person tag, and someone else does, like, you know what I mean? Like he'll do the boot.
Oh, so it's going to be the Sting and Hogan match. We're all in for throw some punches.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about Hogan. Let's not jinx ourselves and get ourselves into this. I mean,
you got to find a new partner to do a podcast over WWE.
When Shinsuke won that year, they didn't really have any surprises really in the Rumble, and they've sort of toned down on doing them in the last few years. So I think the surprises this year, bearing in mind they've only announced.
What Van Dam?
Yeah, WWE don't want him because of his eyes, so he's nearly blind, so they don't want him.
Well, that's a bit of fucking racist against.
They're worried. Apparently, he's got something wrong with his vision, so they're worried about his health thing, but him passing a medical.
Taboo.
So they. Did you say Sabu? Jesus Christ, no! God, never again, never.
Sad man.
Why did you go for ECW, guys?
Tommy Dreamer?
No, but they sort of walk back doing the old legends and stuff. So I think the surprises, seeing as they've only announced 13 people in the men's, I think the surprises are going to be the NXT guys and things like that. I think.
Well, they're not really surprised at the NXT guys. We're all aware they're in the match.
Yeah, we know they're in the match, but it's like they've not said who. So I think they're going for that sort of thing of if we don't say who's in the match, then people will just what.
Their main bunch as per friggin' usual.
Yeah, it's going to be Adam Cole, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee. Probably all of the Undisputed Era, I should think. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's the way they're gonna go. I don't know. I could be wrong. They could have Hogan and X-Pac and whatever come down.
X-Pac, he can still go.
I'd like to see X-Pac. It's weird that they don't use him.
He also next will come back and wins it.
No, it wouldn't. That'd be awful.
Going up against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania gets squished.
Yeah. So we haven't actually said who we've got. So who's your pick for this year?
I'm gonna go with the only one who's actually got already any momentum going in for the Royal Run, and that's Drew.
Yeah, and I can see it. I really like Drew. I think they should push him to the freaking moon. And Drew is a legitimate contender to Brock if they actually book him right. He looks like a freaking monster. They actually book him right.
Steroids while he was away from WWE.
Yeah, he bulked up a little bit. Yeah, he looks like a monster. He could be a legitimate threat. So I have, and this is weird.
This is weird because normally, if you even look at last year, I'd be saying this person. Yeah. You'd be saying Drew.
Yeah, I think I did say Drew last year. Yeah. I think Drew was my pick last year.
Drew was your pick for everything last year.
Drew was my pick. Last year, I was 100% convinced that Drew was the man to go with, and they just did nothing with him.
How did that go?
They did nothing.
It's because they listen to what I say.
Yeah, they're like, he likes him, we're going to do nothing with him. I think Roman Reigns.
One that watch this video to get Ronda Rousey involved ready for tomorrow.
I think Roman Reigns has. I don't know. They've positioned Roman in a weird position this year, some which he's never been in before, which is like this upper mid card sort of area, and they want to get him back up the top, and they're doing that slow build. They've been doing it really well, to be fair. They've been slowly building him. And now they've got two ways in which they can go. If they were to do a Roman thing, they can go Roman and the Fiend, which they've speculation has said that they want to do, or they can go back to the well again and do Roman versus Brock.
Got a haircut.
Got to have a haircut. Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be weird seeing short-haired Roman. I don't know. I think Roman's just a likely thing. I prefer Drew. The person I'd really like is Keith Lee.
I just don't think it's technically going to be his time.
Yeah, I don't think it's his time. I think it's a perfect time to make Keith Lee a star, a bona fide star in the eyes of the majority. I could see him
being the one to eliminate like Brock Lesnar and having Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
That'd be awesome. Seeing Keith, I wanted to see Keith Lee Brock, like the M Square off.
Champion v champion
awesome.
at WrestleMania,
But
and
like,
then he loses the North American champion, then Brock Lesnar's got to go between two shows.
Yeah, that's going to happen. He doesn't like going to one show, let alone two shows. But seeing a Keith Lee Brock standoff, like seeing a Matt Riddle Brock standoff and stuff, I think this Rumble's got a lot of potential to do lots of really cool stuff. And once again, talk about surprises. I mentioned to you, we could see a Goldberg surprise. I mean, he's in shape, he's under contract. So they could tease the Matt Riddle Goldberg.
I really don't want to see him in the ring again.
I don't mind him in the ring if he's just doing those 3-minute squashes and he's done. I don't need to see him in a main event or doing whatever. If he's doing the squashes, or if he's helping younger talent or whatever, if they put him in tags and helping him do younger talent, I'm all for that. But other than that, I don't need him doing what he did a few years ago and being the freaking champion again. I don't need that. Goldberg versus Riddle, I'm all for that. You can make Matt Riddle a star in the eyes of the general viewer.
Yeah, but then you'd have to put him in an actual match, which you said you don't want.
No, have Matt Riddle squash him.
Yeah, because they'll do that. And Goldberg would agree to that.
There's no way Goldberg would agree to it. But, that'd be the best thing. Goldberg hits multiple spears and jackhammers, makes it look competitive, and Matt Riddle wins. I'm sure Goldberg would do it now. He's a different Goldberg to what he was.
Yeah, but the problem is he
doesn't like Matt Riddle.
No. You can't blame him either.
No, because Matt Riddle's a mouthy little fuck. But I don't know. I think this Rumble has potential to do a lot for a lot of people if done right. Touch wood.
Pretty well, would be nice to actually know what's going on in these Royal Rumbles. But...
Yeah, it's weird. This is the Rumble which we know so little about. I mean, even the dirt sheets are all sort of like they're keeping their mouths completely stumm, completely closed about this Rumble. They know nothing. Meltzer, all of them, they're like, this is the first Rumble in a long time, which they don't know what's going to happen. So it's a genuine predictions at this time for the Rumble, which is kind of cool.
John Cena had to go and ruin that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, so John Cena's not going to be. Well, I won't say that because he could return. They could have been kayfabe in the dirt sheets.
It's a rumour thing, and the next thing John Cena comes along.
Yeah, exactly. They could have been kayfabe in the dirt sheets, and he's back. He's come back number 30 or whatever.
And I get Undertaker, John Cena,
You're not going to get Undertaker, John Cena.
Why am I not getting Undertaker and John Cena at WrestleMania?
Because you're not. The Rumble every year is my favourite pay-per-view without a doubt. And I think it's. I mean, even though it's going to be like 18 hours long with all those other matches and stuff on there, I think it should still be a good show. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know. WrestleMania is like the whole day, so.
Yeah, literally the whole day. But yeah, that's it. We'll be live tweeting Worlds Collide tonight. We'll be live tweeting the Royal Rumble tomorrow. So head on over and follow us on Twitter at @SEW_podcast. All the links are down below. Subscribe here. Follow us on iTunes, Spotify for our podcast and all those good things. And we'll see you next time. We're out.